Dad's Army, the iconic British sitcom that aired from 1968 to 1977, remains a cherished piece of television history. As we reach 2024, many fans wonder what happened to the beloved cast members after the show's end. While some have sadly passed away, others have continued their careers in unique ways, shaping the entertainment world in unexpected directions. Join us as we explore the lives and legacies of the Dad's Army stars, reflecting on their personal journeys, careers, and where they are now after more than 5 decades. It's a tribute to the actors who brought unforgettable characters to life. John Le Mesurier, born on April 5, 1912, in Bedford, Bedfordshire, brought a quiet charm and sophistication to Sergeant Arthur Wilson in Dad's Army at the age of 56. Raised in a strict household, John's gentle personality developed as a reaction to his overbearing father. Initially pursuing law, he found his true calling in acting, attending the prestigious London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. His career featured numerous supporting roles in films and television before his understated brilliance as Wilson gained widespread acclaim. John was married 3 times. His second marriage to comedienne Hattie Jacques ended in heartbreak when she began an affair, leaving John emotionally devastated but remarkably gracious in the public eye. His third marriage to Joan Mallon brought him stability, though he struggled privately with alcoholism. Professionally, he faced typecasting as a gentlemanly figure, which limited his roles despite his talent. In his later years, his health declined due to cirrhosis of the liver, and he passed away on November 15, 1983, aged 71. John's legacy endures as an actor of subtlety and warmth, beloved by colleagues and fans alike. Arthur Lowe, born on September 22, 1915, in Hayfield, Derbyshire, brought his authoritative yet comically pompous Captain George Mainwaring to life in Dad's Army from the age of 53. The son of a railway clerk, Arthur had a modest upbringing and struggled academically, which drove him to seek fulfillment in the arts. Before achieving fame, he spent years performing in repertory theater and taking small roles in television and film. His portrayal of Mainwaring reflected his disciplined personality, though he was known for his sharp wit and kindness off-screen. Arthur married Joan Cooper in 1948, and they had 1 son, Stephen, but their relationship faced challenges, particularly as Joan's struggles with alcoholism intensified. Professionally, Arthur was deeply committed but felt frustrated being typecast after Dad's Army. In his later years, he endured worsening diabetes and a series of strokes, which significantly impacted his health. Tragically, on April 15, 1982, at the age of 66, Arthur suffered a fatal stroke while preparing for a stage performance, leaving behind a legacy as one of Britain's most cherished comedic actors. Clive Dunn, born on January 9, 1920, in Covent Garden, London, became a household name as the exuberant Lance Corporal Jack Jones in Dad's Army, a role he embraced at 48. Though often cast as an elderly character, Clive's youthful energy and comedic timing defined Jones's memorable catchphrases, including "Don't panic." His early life was marked by hardships. Growing up during the economic struggles of the 1920s, Clive developed a resilience that would serve him well. His experiences in World War II, including being captured and held as a German POW, profoundly shaped his outlook, blending humor with deep empathy. Married to actress Priscilla Morgan in 1959, Clive found joy in family life, raising 2 daughters, Polly and Jessica, though his career suffered from typecasting after Dad's Army. Retiring to Portugal, he pursued a quieter life but remained a public figure through interviews and appearances. Clive passed away on November 6, 2012, at 92, following complications from surgery. His legacy is one of laughter, dedication, and an enduring connection with audiences who cherished his larger-than-life persona. Arnold Ridley was born on January 7, 1896, in Bath, England, into a cultured and academically inclined family. He initially trained as a teacher but was drawn to the stage early in life. His promising career was interrupted by World War I, during which he sustained serious injuries, including a head wound and a permanently damaged hand, leaving him with lasting physical pain. These experiences inspired his writing, most notably the successful play The Ghost Train, 1923. By the time he joined Dad's Army in 1968 at the age of 72, Ridley had become a respected figure in both theater and film. He portrayed Private Charles Godfrey, the gentle and kind-hearted medic whose frailty often mirrored Ridley's own struggles. In his personal life, Ridley faced challenges, including a failed first marriage to actress Joyce Kennedy, which ended partly due to the strain of his war injuries and relentless work. His second marriage to Althea Parker brought him stability and a son, Nicholas, but his declining health often overshadowed his family life. Ridley spent his later years quietly, coping with his war-related ailments until his peaceful passing on March 12, 1984, at the age of 88. Ian Lavender, born on February 16, 1946, in Birmingham, England, had a relatively happy and stable childhood. Encouraged by supportive parents, he pursued his passion for acting at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. Lavender's big break came at the age of 22 when he was cast as Private Frank Pike in Dad's Army in 1968. His portrayal of the naive and overprotected stupid boy made him an instant favorite with audiences, but it also led to typecasting, limiting his post-Dad's Army opportunities. Lavender's career included notable roles in shows like EastEnders, though he never fully escaped Pike's shadow. His personal life saw both joy and sorrow. His first marriage to Suzanne Kirchhoff ended amicably after several years, with the couple agreeing to part due to differing life goals. Lavender found love again with Mickey Hardy, with whom he shared a strong bond, though they did not have children. In his later years, he battled significant health challenges, including a cancer diagnosis, which he bravely overcame for a time. Lavender passed away on February 2, 2024, at the age of 77. Bill Pertwee, born on July 21, 1926, in Amersham, Buckinghamshire, brought an unforgettable intensity to his role as Chief Warden Hodges in Dad's Army, which he joined at 42 years old in 1968. Pertwee's character was a perfect antagonist, often clashing humorously with the platoon. His real life, however, was far from the antagonistic persona he portrayed. Raised in a strict and emotionally distant household, Pertwee found solace in acting, but his career took time to gain momentum. He married Marion Rose in 1955, and they had one son, Jonathan, who later became a writer. The family faced heartache as Marion battled cancer for years before her death in 2005, a loss that left Pertwee deeply bereft. Professionally, he thrived in radio, television, and theater, but he struggled with bouts of depression, especially later in life. Pertwee passed away peacefully on May 27, 2013, at the age of 86, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and a reputation for kindness. Frank Williams, born on July 2, 1931, in London, was a versatile actor whose gentle portrayal of Reverend Timothy Farthing in Dad's Army brought a sense of calm and humor to the show. Starting the role at 37 years old in 1969, Williams drew on his upbringing in a devout Christian family to shape the character. Despite his warm on-screen demeanor, his personal life was marked by loneliness. Williams never married, dedicating himself instead to his work and a close-knit circle of friends. His childhood was relatively stable, though he later spoke of feeling overshadowed by his siblings and struggling to find his own identity. Tragedy struck when his younger brother was killed in a car accident, a loss that deeply affected him. While his career was steady, health issues plagued him in his later years, including arthritis and heart problems. Williams passed away on June 26, 2022, at the age of 90, cherished by fans for his enduring contributions to television and his gentle spirit. Talfryn Thomas was born on October 31, 1922, in Swansea, Wales, into a working-class family that faced economic hardship during the Great Depression. Despite leaving school early to support his family, Talfryn never let go of his dream of becoming an actor. His perseverance paid off when he was cast as Private Cheeseman in Dad's Army at the age of 51 in 1973. As the eccentric and anxious journalist, he brought a unique flair to the platoon, earning praise for his comedic talent. However, Talfryn's personal life was far from harmonious. Married to actress Eileen Green, he had 2 children, but the marriage was troubled by his frequent absences and periods of emotional withdrawal due to his struggles with depression. After the end of Dad's Army, his career waned, leaving him financially unstable and deeply dissatisfied. He died suddenly on November 4, 1982, at the age of 60. While the cause of death was not officially disclosed, his declining health and stress are believed to have contributed to his premature passing, leaving a bittersweet legacy of humor and resilience. Janet Davies was born on September 14, 1927, in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, into a family that struggled to make ends meet during the interwar period. Her early years were marked by instability, with her parents' frequent conflicts culminating in divorce when she was just 10. Despite these challenges, Janet pursued her passion for the arts and trained as an actress, eventually landing the role of Mrs. Mavis Pike in Dad's Army at 41. As the overprotective mother of Private Frank Pike, she became a beloved part of the show, known for her warmth and comedic timing. Off-screen, Janet's personal life was often challenging. Her marriage to playwright Ian Masters was strained due to their conflicting careers, though they managed to have a son, Peter. While she juggled the demands of motherhood and acting, her health deteriorated in her later years. Diagnosed with breast cancer, Janet fought bravely but succumbed to the illness on September 22, 1986, at the age of 59. Her untimely death left a void in the British acting community, though her legacy endures through her memorable performances. John Laurie was born on March 25, 1897, in Dumfries, Scotland, into a modest family that faced financial struggles during his childhood. These early hardships instilled in him a sense of seriousness that would later define his iconic roles. During World War I, he served on the front lines, an experience that left him profoundly affected and contributed to his brooding demeanor. Laurie began his acting career in the 1920s and gained recognition for his work in classics like The 39 Steps, 1935. In Dad's Army, 1968 to 1977, he portrayed Private James Fraser, the dour and perpetually pessimistic undertaker, a role that perfectly suited his dramatic style. Laurie was 71 when the series began, already a veteran of British theatre and film. His personal life, however, was far less stable. His marriage to Florence Bain was troubled, marked by frequent conflicts and emotional distance, which ultimately led to their divorce. They had one daughter, but Laurie's stoic personality made fatherhood challenging for him. Later in life, his health began to decline due to years of heavy smoking, and he eventually succumbed to emphysema and lung-related ailments on June 23, 1980, at the age of 83. James Beck, born on February 21, 1929, in Islington, London, was a gifted actor whose portrayal of Private Joe Walker in Dad's Army remains iconic. Joining the show at 39 years old in 1968, Beck's cheeky, street-smart character became an indispensable part of the platoon, adding humor and charm. Off-screen, his life was a mix of triumphs and struggles. Raised in a working-class family during the Great Depression, Beck faced financial hardships early in life, which shaped his resourceful and resilient nature. His marriage to Kay Carmichael in 1950 was a loving but childless union, often overshadowed by his career demands and struggles with alcoholism. Beck's health deteriorated rapidly in the early 1970s due to excessive drinking, leading to a fatal heart attack on August 6, 1973, at just 44 years old. His untimely death robbed the acting world of a rising star, leaving a legacy of laughter and warmth that continues to resonate with fans. Robert Raglan, born on April 7, 1909, in Reigate, Surrey, grew up during a time of global upheaval, with World War I casting a shadow over his formative years. Despite his reserved personality, he developed an interest in acting and slowly built a career in theater and television. By the time he took on the role of Colonel Pritchard in Dad's Army in 1970 at the age of 61, Robert had become a familiar face, known for his no-nonsense portrayals of authority figures. In his personal life, Robert married briefly in his 30s to Margaret Thompson, but but the union ended in divorce after just a few years, reportedly due to his workaholic tendencies and aloof nature. He never remarried and lived a largely solitary life in his later years. Professionally, he struggled to find consistent roles after Dad's Army, which left him financially constrained. He passed away quietly on July 18, 1985, at the age of 76. While the exact cause of his death remains unspecified, his final years were marked by declining health and increasing isolation. Wendy Richard, born on July 20, 1943, in Middlesbrough, England, appeared as Edith Parrish in Dad's Army at the age of 27. Wendy's early life was marked by tragedy, losing her father to suicide when she was just 11 years old. This event deeply impacted her, fueling both her ambition and insecurities. She found fame as Miss Brahms in Are You Being Served? And Pauline Fowler in EastEnders, but her personal life was tumultuous. Wendy married 4 times, with her first 3 marriages ending in bitter divorces. She struggled with loneliness, even at the height of her fame, and longed for stability, which she found in her 4th husband, John Burns, in her final years. Wendy faced multiple battles with breast cancer, which returned aggressively in her 60s. Despite her health struggles, she continued working until she passed away on February 26, 2009, at the age of 65, leaving behind a legacy as a beloved and resilient actress. Michael Knowles, born on April 26, 1937, in Derby, England, played Captain Cutts in Dad's Army at the age of 32. Growing up in a post-war Britain, Michael's childhood was shaped by a strict upbringing and limited opportunities. He discovered his passion for acting in school plays but faced years of rejection before landing notable roles. Outside of Dad's Army, he became known for writing and acting in British sitcoms, but his career never reached the heights he hoped for. He married fellow actor Linda James in 1965, and while they have remained together, their relationship has endured periods of strain, especially during Michael's bouts with depression. Despite having children, Michael struggled to balance family life with the demands of the entertainment industry. Career frustrations, health scares, and financial difficulties have marked his later years, but at 87, he continues to reflect on his legacy with quiet pride, living a modest life away from the public eye. Estelle was born on May 22, 1933, in Manchester, England, into a working-class family that struggled to make ends meet. His childhood was marked by the difficulties of growing up during World War II, including frequent bombings and the absence of his father, who was serving in the military. Despite these challenges, Estelle found solace in singing and acting, eventually training at the Northern Theatre School. By the time he appeared as Gerald in Dad's Army in 1969 at the age of 36, he had already begun to establish himself as a versatile entertainer. Although his role in the series was minor, it showcased his comedic talent, which later flourished in It Ain't Half Hot Mom. Tragically, Estelle's professional success was overshadowed by personal hardships. His marriage to Elizabeth Ashcroft ended in divorce after years of tension stemming from his demanding career. The couple had 2 children, neither of whom pursued a close relationship with him as adults. In later years, Estelle faced declining health and financial struggles, performing in shopping centers to make ends meet. He died on August 2, 2003, at the age of 70, a poignant reminder of the challenges many actors face behind the scenes of fame. John Ringham, born on February 10, 1928, in Cheltenham, Gloucestershire, brought an air of authority and poise to his role as Captain Bailey in Dad's Army at 40 years old. Raised in a military family, John's childhood was filled with both discipline and expectations he often felt unable to meet. He found solace in acting, attending the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, where he honed his craft. His career spanned stage, television, and film, with highlights including The Avengers and Z-Cars. However, he battled self-doubt throughout his career, exacerbated by his struggles with alcoholism in the 1970s. John married Elizabeth Shepherd in 1953, and they had 3 children, though his dedication to his work often left him distant from his family. His health declined in his later years, and he passed away from cancer on October 20, 2008, at the age of 80, remembered as a versatile actor whose struggles often mirrored the human condition he so brilliantly portrayed. Ronnie Brody, born on November 6, 1918, in Bristol, England, was the son of Jewish immigrants who instilled in him a strong work ethic but little emotional support. As a young man, Brody gravitated toward performing arts, using humor as a means to cope with the prejudice and hardships he faced growing up. His career in acting began in the 1940s with small roles in theater and film, eventually leading to his casting as Bob in Dad's Army in 1973 at the age of 55. Although his role was minor, Brody's performance added a unique charm to the series' ensemble cast. Behind the scenes, however, his life was far from idyllic. His marriage to actress Judith Kramer was fraught with tension, particularly over their inability to have children, which strained their relationship to the breaking point. Brody also struggled with bouts of depression, exacerbated by the challenges of finding consistent work as an actor. He ultimately found some peace in teaching acting to young performers. He passed away on May 8, 1991, at the age of 72. Larry Martyn, born on March 22, 1934, in London, England, experienced a turbulent childhood, losing his mother at a young age and being raised by an emotionally distant father. This early loss left a lasting impact on him, fueling his desire to entertain others and bring laughter to their lives. Martyn began his acting career in the 1950s, appearing in various British comedies. At 35, he joined Dad's Army in 1969, portraying a nameless soldier who added subtle humor to the series through his interactions with the main cast. Despite his contributions to the show, Martyn struggled to break into leading roles, and his career was marked by frustration and missed opportunities. His personal life mirrored this instability. His marriage to Sheila Roberts was strained by his struggles with alcohol, which eventually led to their separation. The couple had one son, who later described their relationship as distant. Martyn's life was further marred by financial difficulties and health issues in his later years. He passed away on August 7, 1994, at the age of 60. Campbell Singer, born on March 16, 1909, in London, played the high-ranking and somewhat intimidating Major General Menzies in Dad's Army. Joining the show at 63 years old in 1972, Singer's portrayal of the military officer brought both anxiety and excitement to the platoon, making him a key figure in several episodes. His childhood was overshadowed by financial struggles, and he faced personal loss early on when his father passed away during his teenage years. Singer married his longtime love, Dorothy, in the 1930s, and the couple had 2 children. However, their marriage was often strained due to the pressures of his acting career, which frequently took him away from home. Though his career was steady, he often found himself typecast in authoritative roles, which led to a sense of frustration. Despite a solid career in stage and screen acting, Singer faced several financial setbacks in his later years. He died on February 16, 1976, at the age of 66, and though his death was not publicly attributed to a specific cause, his health had been in decline for several months. Fulton Mackay, born on August 12, 1922, in Scotland, became known for his portrayal of the stern and authoritative Captain Ramsay in Dad's Army. At 51 years old in 1973, he joined the show and brought a sense of military discipline to the platoon. His character's commanding presence contrasted with the more light-hearted and disorganized Home Guard. Mackay's early life was marked by hardship, growing up during the Great Depression in a working-class family. He had a troubled marriage to actress Mary Mackay, which ended in separation after several years. Despite his professional success, he faced emotional turmoil throughout his life, dealing with isolation and bouts of depression. His career saw some ups and downs, with successes in theater, television, and film, but he often struggled to find steady work in his later years. Mackay also faced a long battle with cancer and passed away on June 6, 1987, at the age of 64, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances but also a life marked by personal and health challenges. Martyn Wyldeck, born on January 11, 1914, in London, portrayed the strict and disciplined Major Raglan in Dad's Army at the age of 54 in 1968. His character was known for his no-nonsense attitude and high expectations of the platoon, which created numerous humorous situations. Wyldeck's early life was marked by financial hardship during the pre-war years, and he struggled to establish himself as an actor in his youth. He married actress Jennifer Wyldeck in 1943, and they had one son. Their relationship, however, faced turbulence, as Wyldeck's career often required long absences, which strained their bond. Professionally, his career was stable, but Wyldeck felt frustrated by the lack of roles that allowed him to showcase his full range of acting skills. Later in life, he faced health issues and the personal tragedy of losing his wife in 1984. Despite his declining health, he continued to act, albeit in smaller roles. Wyldeck passed away on April 29, 1988, at the age of 74, and although his cause of death was never definitively stated, it was believed to be linked to complications from his health struggles. Eric Chitty, born on July 8, 1907, in London, began his acting career in the early days of British cinema, becoming known for his roles in both film and television. By the time he took on the role of Mr. Clerk in Dad's Army in 1970, at the age of 63, Eric had already built a solid career playing meticulous and pedantic characters. His role as the administrative figure in the platoon was a natural fit for his skill set, but off-screen, Eric's life had its share of challenges. He had married twice, with his second wife, Diana, being a significant part of his life. However, the marriage struggled due to Eric's demanding work schedule and his intense focus on his career. Despite this, the couple remained together, though they had no children. Eric's later years were marred by financial difficulties, and his health started to decline rapidly. He passed away on July 22, 1977, at the age of 70, with the cause of death remaining unspecified. Avril Angers was born on April 18, 1918, in London, and grew up in a time of social change, witnessing the impact of World War I on her family and community. Despite her humble beginnings, she found solace and passion in acting, leading to a long and successful career. In Dad's Army, Avril portrayed Frida, the cheerful and efficient telephone operator who often helped the platoon communicate, a role she began at 51 years old in 1969. Though the character was beloved for her wit and charm, Avril's personal life was far from easy. Her marriage to actor and director Michael Angers was filled with tension and disagreements, leading to a separation after many years together. They had 2 children, but the emotional strain of their relationship affected their family life, and Avril often spoke of feeling isolated in her personal life. After Dad's Army, Avril's career continued with television roles, but her health began to decline. She died on November 9, 2005, at the age of 87 due to pneumonia, leaving behind a legacy of warmth and humor, despite the personal battles she faced throughout her life. Tim Barrett was born on May 31, 1929, in the small town of Windsor, Cheshire, and grew up during a time of war and economic hardship. He began acting in the theater before transitioning to television, where he became known for his calm, authoritative presence. In Dad's Army, Tim played Captain Pringle, a competent officer who sometimes oversaw the platoon. At 40 years old in 1969, his portrayal of Pringle highlighted the differences between regular Army officers and the Home Guard volunteers. While his on-screen persona was that of a stern but competent figure, Tim's personal life was marked by struggles with self-doubt and financial instability. He married actress Valerie Green in the 1950s, but their marriage faced difficulty as Tim often struggled to find consistent work, which strained their relationship. They eventually divorced, though they had one child, a son named James. After Dad's Army, Tim's career never reached the heights he had hoped, and his later years were spent away from the spotlight. He died on August 20, 1990, at the age of 61, though the cause of death was not publicly disclosed. Freddie Earlle, born on May 24, 1924, brought the character of Henry to life in Dad's Army, 1973. His role, though minor, provided a quirky and humorous presence in the series. At 49 years old when he appeared on the show, Earlle had already enjoyed a long career in acting. However, his life was marked by personal challenges. Earlle went through multiple failed marriages, which deeply affected him, and his relationships with his children were strained. Despite his career accomplishments, the emotional toll of his personal life left him with feelings of isolation. In his later years, Earlle struggled with health problems and was often surrounded by loneliness. He passed away on July 7, 2007, at the age of 83. Although the cause of his death is not specified, his passing marked the loss of a talented actor who had faced many personal tribulations throughout his life. Barbara Windsor, born on August 6, 1937, played the glamorous and lively character of Laura LaPlaz in Dad's Army, 1968. At just 31 years old, Windsor brought charm and sophistication to the series, contributing to many memorable moments. Windsor's career flourished, but her personal life was filled with turmoil. She faced multiple troubled marriages, including a divorce that left her emotionally distressed. Despite her professional success, Windsor struggled to find lasting happiness in her personal relationships. Later in life, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which affected both her memory and her ability to live independently. Windsor's battle with the disease became widely known, and her fans and family supported her throughout. She passed away on December 10, 2020, at the age of 83, after suffering from complications related to Alzheimer's. Her death marked the end of a beloved actress's journey, leaving behind a legacy that will always be remembered. Anthony Sharp, born on June 16, 1915, portrayed the authoritative War Office brigadier in Dad's Army, 1969. His character added a sense of formality and structure to the platoon, creating a humorous contrast to their disorganized nature. Sharp was 54 years old at the time of his appearance in the show. Throughout his career, he enjoyed critical acclaim for his work in theater and television, but his personal life was fraught with difficulties. Sharp endured a painful divorce that led to prolonged periods of depression and estrangement from his children. Financial instability and health issues plagued his later years, and despite his success in acting, his personal struggles often overshadowed his accomplishments. Sharp passed away on July 23, 1984, at the age of 69. The cause of his death is not specified, but it marked the end of a life filled with great promise yet tainted by personal and emotional challenges. Alex McAvoy, born on March 10, 1928, portrayed the sergeant in Dad's Army, 1968 to 1977, a character whose strict and disciplined nature contrasted sharply with the more laid-back platoon. His role as the authoritative figure brought a sense of military structure to the show. At 44 years old when he joined the cast in 1972, McAvoy had already established a solid acting career. However, his personal life was filled with struggles. Despite his career success, he faced personal hardships, including the breakdown of relationships and financial difficulties. His marriage ended in divorce, and he struggled with feelings of loneliness. In his later years, McAvoy battled leukemia, which ultimately claimed his life on June 16, 2005, at the age of 77. His passing marked the end of a distinguished career in which he had earned the respect of his peers, but his personal battles left a somber note on his legacy. Who is your favorite character from Dad's Army? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.